From Life on the Edge with Dr. James Dobson, Lesson 2, The Myth of Safe Sex. In reference to the video, Dr. Mullaney said that science will not be the solution for AIDS and other STDs. Why? If the answer is not to be found in science, what do you think the answer will be? Dr. Dobson said he is so glad he can be confident that he and his wife do not have an STD. How can he be sure? Is there such a thing as safe sex? How would you define safe sex? What does your school teach about safe sex? Do you agree or disagree with your school? Has anyone ever challenged a teacher or school official about whether sex with a condom is safe? What can people your age do? Can you make a difference? What was all the talk toward the end of the video about being a secondary virgin? What do they mean by that? How does one become a secondary virgin? What good does it do? Some statistics. The Centers for Disease Control report there are now more than 50 known STDs. Each day, 33,000 Americans become infected with an STD. That's 12,045,000 a year. 2/3 of these are between the ages of 15 to 25. Today, 1 in every 5 Americans ages 15 to 55 is infected with at least one STD. Since Planned Parenthood type programs began in 1970, unwed pregnancies have increased 87% among 15 to 19-year-olds. Research indicates that where disease prevention is concerned, the failure rate of condoms is perhaps 50% or greater. Condoms also fail to protect against STDs that are transmitted from areas not covered. Sexually active people face odds 4 times higher for contracting an STD than for getting pregnant. 1 in every 250 Americans has the AIDS virus. Fact: latex condoms have tiny intrinsic holes called voids. HIV, the cause of AIDS, is 50 times smaller than these tiny holes, which make it easy for the virus to pass through them, about as easy as a dime passing through a basketball hoop. There's a comic. Protective garb the Federal Centers for Disease Control recommends for people who have substantial exposure to bodily fluids. For doctors, surgical hat, face shield, mask, double gloves, outer protective garment, shoe covers. For teenagers, condom. For more information, visit www.lovematters.com. What does God have to say about sex? Genesis 2:24 says, "For this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh." God created the idea of sex. He made men and women as sexual beings, to reproduce and to use sex as a means of expressing love and delighting in one another. The sexual relationship is a key part of husbands and wives becoming one. God intended for sex to be good within the context of a marriage relationship. Hebrews 13:4 says, "Marriage should be honored by all and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral." Sexual intercourse is to be reserved for the commitment of marriage. 1 Thessalonians 4:3-5 says, "It is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, that each of you should learn to control his body in a way that is holy and honorable, not in passionate lust like the heathen who do not know God." The world's attitude is, if it feels good, do it. God calls us to exercise self-control over our passions and our bodies. The fact that something feels good doesn't mean we should do it. Instead, we need to think about whether or not it is honoring to God. The keys to a lifelong love. From Life on the Edge with Dr. James Dobson. There are 12 steps to marital bonding. They are: 1. Eye to body. 2. Eye to eye. 3. Voice to voice. 4. Hand to hand. 5. Hand to shoulder. 6. Hand to waist. 7. Face to face. 8. Hand to hair. 9. Hand to body. 10. Mouth to breast. 11. Touching below waist. 12. Intercourse. The last 4 stages of intimacy are related to sexuality and marriage, and God intended these to be reserved for a marriage relationship. Think about it. Dr. Dobson said that bonding occurs when a couple moves slowly and systematically through the 12 stages of marital bonding without skipping any, without rushing any. What steps are often skipped in the relationships you see around you? Which ones are rushed? What happens when the steps are skipped or rushed? Think about a movie or TV show you have seen lately. What steps were shown in a romantic relationship? What steps were skipped? Do you agree or disagree with Dr. Dobson's statement on love at first sight? How does an understanding of the stages of intimacy affect the idea of love at first sight? From a youth group skit I performed in front of my church. Girl 1. "So, it's me and John's anniversary next week, and I was thinking about getting him something really special." Girl 2. "Ooh, really? Let me guess. A box of chocolates." A new video game. Girl 1. Well, actually, I was thinking something a little more special. Girl 2. Like a tree that you can plant together. Girl 1. No, I was thinking, giving him myself. Girl 2. But he already has you. How could you give him something he already has? Girl 1. No, I mean my whole self. Girl 2. What? You mean you and him together? Girl 1. Well, yeah. Girl 2. Are you kidding? You can't do that. God says it's supposed to be saved for marriage. Girl 1. Who are you to talk? Girl 2. I know, I made a mistake, but I knew it was wrong after I did it. I wish I would have waited. It would have been so much more meaningful. If you really love each other, wait till you're married. Girl 1. I don't want to. Let's just change the subject. Skittles. Now there's a subject I could talk about. Mind sharing some of those Skittles? Girl 2. Sure. She dumps the bag of Skittles in her mouth, then spits them in her hand and offers them to Girl 1. Girl 1. Ew! Girl 2. How does it feel to get something that's been used?